Yes,
a
we
review of
can.
water pollution trends and mitigation opportunities in the Akaki River watershed, Ethiopia. Um, so before going further into the ideas, I just want to say something about myself. So my name is Sofonias. I'm the firstborn of four siblings. I'm a high school senior living in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, Eastern Africa. And in my free time, I love to watch documentaries, play with my sisters, have long walks, and other many things aside. And also, I enjoy learning about everything and the environment more specifically. And I want to thank two people actually before I start. First of all, I want to thank my father because he had made all this possible and helping me in all these things. And second, I want to really thank my mentor because without her, all this wouldn't have been possible. And without further ado, let's get into the presentation. So we have table of contents. So we'll have an introduction. Then we'll see, actually for each content, there's a kind of a single slide. So the first slide is about introductions, then about why it matters, then about the study area, then about the research questions, then the drivers of the pollution, then the impacts, then the evidence and data, then trends, then remediation strategies, then opportunities and challenges, and finally conclusion. So introduction. So I live around the Akaki River watershed, and there's been noticeable pollution for decades. So I wanted to understand why and what's being done. And also I wanted to study what could really be done and what could be done to make a difference. So as I said before, Akaki River is a watershed found in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, and Addis Ababa is the capital city of the country. So the aim of this study is mainly to understand the causes, trends, impacts, and remediation strategies for water pollution in Akaki River watershed. And also, I've mentioned the location. It's found in Ethiopia, in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Why it matters globally and to Ethiopia. So as we all know, rivers are lifelines to the planet. They supply water, habitats, and livelihood. Uh, Ethiopia is known as the water tower of Africa, and this is because Ethiopia has 11 rivers flowing out of the nation and none coming inside. And so like it's known for its surplus amount of waters in the nation. However, water pollution is a global challenge, and according to United Nations World Water Development Report in 2017, 80% of the rivers flow untreated or within wastewaters inside them, or generally they're below the WHO standards. And but billions of lives live close to rivers, which make water pollution a shared human problem. And to our focus, the study area is Akaki River watershed, and it cuts paths through Addis Ababa and flows to Oromia regional state, and it has an area of around 1,500 kilometers square totally. Um, and so here we have four research questions. The first one is, what are the main causes of water pollution in Akaki River? The second one is, what are the trends over time? The third one is, what are the environmental and human health impacts? And the fourth one is, what remediation strategies exist or are recommended? So I try to answer these questions in this whole research. So before going further, let's see the research approach. So the type of study is a literature review. So some of the sources are peer-reviewed articles, government reports, planning documents, and other reports from NGOs. Well, the selection criteria is, I can say, pretty much straightforward. So public and environmental health articles, water quality monitoring institution reports, and governance policies within the last 20 years, from 2005 to 2025. Well, so causes of pollution, multifaceted drivers of pollution. Well, when someone thinks about pollution or pollutants in general, there are two types of pollutants. The source of the pollutants are two types. The first one is point pollutants, and the second one is non-point sources. So point sources are those type of pollutant factors where you can navigate and tell, okay, this waste comes from here. But non-point are the ones like you cannot tell where they come from, so they just exist. And so Akaki River watershed faces both types of pollutants, both point and non-point, and this is mainly because of industrial discharge. 60% of the nation's industries are concentrated in and around the capital of Ethiopia, which is Addis Ababa. So like, and most of 90% of those industries dispose wastewater directly into the river. So this is the main cause of the pollution. And the second one is market waste. Mercato is a marketplace found in Addis Ababa, and it's the largest marketplace in Eastern Africa. So, and most people practice direct dumping there, adding to being the cause of the pollution. So impacts of the pollution. So there are two major impacts of the pollution. The first one is environmental impacts. So the first is ecosystem degradation. So it generally harms, the aquatic ecosystem and hurts biodiversity. And the second one is contaminated sediments and reduced self-purification. So to some extent, the water could self-purify itself, but pollutants would definitely disturb that, and it would be impossible. The second one is the impact on human health. So it brings unsafe drinking water below WHO, World Health Organization, and Environmental Protection Agency standards. So these are international standards, and so it doesn't follow. And also, not actually, there was no study made specifically to Akaki River, but in 2019 alone, 1.5 million people have died because of water pollution and specifically diarrhea. Evidence and data. So studies from 2005, 2015 to 2025 all consistently show high levels of BOD, TSS, TDS, pH. So these are kind of measuring criteria for water quality: total soluble solids, total dissolved solids, parts per million, and such. So all of them were found below the WHO standard. And this was a picture I took very recently around September, as you guys can see it. And so it's really polluted like right now. Trends in the river pollution. Also, I just want to make clear the trend of the river over time. So the pollution in the watershed seems persistent and worsening. So there has been trials to stop the pollution. So there has been actually much trials, but some of the more known ones were like the integrated plan and stricter laws, but they haven't solved much of the problems. So in 2005, the government, along with the UK government, introduced the first integrated plan. So which is a plan that focuses on more of society and awareness creation rather than the engineering tilted methods of water purification. But it somehow didn't work because the lack of support from the public and also the government. And in 2017, there was another trial called the monitoring report. So what they tried to do was like universities did research and to show the public the impact, but it made a little progress and stopped. And in 2025, the picture still reveals a contamination. And these pictures are from each differs from the other within a decade. So this one is from 2005. This one is from 2015. This one is from now, 2025. But all of them show severe pollution, as you guys can see. Remediation strategies existing and suggested. So there are some existing efforts. So there are monitoring and research efforts by mainly international aid organizations like the CGIAR, the ILRI, and Addis Ababa University. So somehow the universities and international aid organizations are somehow trying to collaborate and somehow making efforts to tackle this pollution. The second one are government plans. So there has been plans by the government, but they're not efficient, but there are still efforts of the government. And the third one is small scale individual community awareness movements. People try to create movement, but it's not as effective as well. So here are some suggested strategies. So these are my suggested strategies. So the first one is stricter policy for enforcement. So fine for industry polluters, facilitations for dump and contain site. So I think this could significantly reduce, because I think a policy could be a great measure here, and also a stricter enforcement for the policy. The second one I would suggest is awareness creation campaigns for communities and industries. I believe like awareness is the main way to tackle the problem. So awareness creation campaigns are mandatory. The third one is wastewater treatment infrastructure expansion. So aside from creating awareness and doing all that, there should be facilities that should treat this wastewater also. The fourth one is community-led cleanups and waste filtering, because I think involving the community in the process gives a sense of belonging and would be easier to solve the problems. And also future researches to assess long-term impacts. So I think this could also be substantially give an advantage, because assessing the future impact this pollution could cause also give significant awareness to the public. Opportunities and challenge. So there are certainly opportunities. So the first opportunity I can say is government plus universities working together. So as I said, the universities are working together. And the second one is rising public awareness. So the public is growing more concerned, and that's very good in order to help in this preserving situation, and also international relevance, so chance for global support. So there are various NGOs ready to support, and I guess this would enhance it. While some of the challenges are weak policy enforcement, the second one is limited wastewater treatment facilities and also rapid urbanization and industrial growth. So I think the growth is exponential and that's more than rapid. As a conclusion, Akaki River pollution has persisted and worsened over decades. So the major causes are industries, markets, poor waste management, and so this has caused severe environmental and public health risks. And even though studies hasn't been done, it's pretty much clear that the rivers are heavily polluted. And so solutions exist, but need stricter enforcement, awareness, and also investment. And what's happening in Akaki reflects a global challenge of urban river pollution. And as a final thought, actually, it's a kind of my quote. So if rivers are the veins of earth, then protecting them means protecting life itself. And this is the comparison between Akaki River in Ethiopia and Thames River in London. Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you, Sofonias. That was great. So we do have a question that came into the Q&A. Emily said, wonderful job speaking so clearly and concisely. What was something surprising or unexpected that you learned, either about your topic or about practicing research skills in general?
Well, so I think I could say the topic actually is a much of wide known topic. So some of the things were really surprising, and like I found myself really engaged, like going to the place and taking pictures, and I haven't expected myself in such a way. But so some of this was pretty much amazing. But aside that, I think what I learned about research generally is I've always thought about it like a very complicated process and like a very like I thought I couldn't do it like at such levels, but my mentor, Miss Emily, I really would like to thank her because she showed me like, okay, it's easy to make a research if you like it and if you're passionate about it. So yeah, I found it very interesting and helpful, contrary to what I thought. And yeah.
That's wonderful. It sounds like you had a great experience with your mentor.
Yeah.
There's a second question. What was your favorite part of doing your project? And is that something you'd like to keep exploring in the future?
Um, well, I think I would say I was inspired by like the way how I went to the field and take pictures, like it gave me a sense of control. Okay, so I'm being the real scientist here, I'm being the main guy. And so I think I would probably do if I do research in the future, I would go more to the field because it gives a sense of control and I really liked it.
That's wonderful. Thanks so much, Sofonias. You did a great job, and it was great seeing your presentation.